The jig itself is fully assembled. No assembly that you need to do whatsoever. There are 480 components, so it looks complicated, but it breaks down to 4 very simple steps, which we'll explain. The materials used are Abiat high pressure exterior laminate, which thermally is very, very good. So it can work in very low temperatures, it can work in high temperatures. And what that means is all the parts that slide, all the components that slide, it means that thermally, between nighttime, daytime, hot temperatures, low temperatures, they're all going to slide and be accurate. Everything you expect from a Trend product. The combs themselves are all stainless steel, all the bolts are stainless steel, so it's shower proof, it's not going to rust. So again, longevity is the key with this jig. Now, the thing is you guys, you've seen how quickly it can cut, but what you want to know is how long does it take to set up? If it takes too long, then you're not really interested. Trust me, it's quick. There's another couple of things you want to know, is when we're doing scribing, let's say skirtings, is will it do out of square walls, i.e. out of vertical, out of plumb? And also, will it do a leading edge and a back cut? Well, yes it will do all of that. So quite simply, all we need to begin with is we need an offcut of our material that we're going to create the profile on. As you can see in the back here, there's an area that says setup, so that comes into what we call the setup position. All we simply do is we take our piece of material, okay? So the 4 easy steps are, we put our material in, we create our profile, we flip the combs, and we cut. So you can see it's very, very simple. So, first question we had, will it do out of plumb walls? Well, on the back here we have 2 knobs, and these 2 knobs in twisting means that the rear material slide can twist. If you imagine that this is the floor and this is the wall, it's 90 degrees, that's now out of plumb, and if you look at the distance over that 8 inches of 8-inch material, that wall is really, really out of vertical, so we've got enough tolerance. So for demonstration purposes, we're just going to set it up square. You can put either your square or your angle bevel, but we put it on and we just tighten those 2 up. So now we have the wall plumb set. Second, we take our material and we slide it up to the stop, into the machine stop. That means our setup area and our machining area are exactly in line, which is obviously crucial to make sure that when we've done our scribe that the top points all line up. So when we go, we then have these rear material slides. It's very important to push it up tight and set this one up first. The one that's basically at the bottom of the skirting or closest to you, set it up first. What that does is that holds it in place. Can't move. And then we just set the one up at the top, like so. Very, very easy. Line it up. In essence, what we're doing is we're creating the point at where we want to do the scribe. We're not scribing back here, we're scribing the face, which is from this point here to this point here. Also what it does is, because we're using a router and a follow pin, it will give us a nice lead in and a nice lead out. You'll see in a minute. So all you literally do is loosen these 2 handles, and there's 2 steel bolts going, or steel bars should I say, going right the way through the middle of the combs, and literally all we do is push these combs, and as you can see they're very, very easy to push up. Okay, I can do them with my fingers. However, what we do have is we have what looks like a cut down scraper or a cut down putty knife, okay? It's called the comb alignment tool. You notice it has 1 square sharp edge and it has a radius edge. And what this does is it means that we can literally push individual combs, and we can work the combs into this around the profile. Now, one key point here is to make sure that you really don't slacken your combs off too much. If you slacken them off too much, that when we tighten them up like this to hold them, you can actually distort the profile. So don't slacken them off too much. Just neatly, as you can see, I'm just going to tweak it in, and that's all you need to do to create your perfect scribe. So as you can see, not too complicated, very, very easy to push them in. What we need to do now is tighten up these 2 nuts here, and as you tighten them up, you're not Mr. Universe, you just want to nip them up, okay? And what this is doing is just compressing the combs to keep that profile shape. We then simply undo the 2 bolts here, just moves it a couple of mil, and very, very simply take our profile out. So as you can see, we've now got our profile here. So if you remember, stage 1 was to put the material in, stage 2 was to make the profile, and stage 3 was to flip the combs. This, we undo these bolts and we quite simply lift up the combs and flip them over. Now we can't put them in the wrong position because this stainless steel pin here will only go in the right hole. It's even marked up just here to put it into the cut position. So as you can see, we can set this jig up and go from setup to cut position in under 2 minutes.